stampers and crafters. I'm Tami White from stampwithtami.com, and today I'm going to show you this super amazing card. It's so cool, isn't it? I know it may seem a little bit early, but Easter's actually coming early this year. So I've been in Easter creation mode, creating Easter projects and ideas, and this one is a technique called stained glass, and it uses the Stampin' Up Rose Wonder die. It is super, super cool and surprisingly easy. I think you're really gonna like this one. Let's get started. So this is just such a cool technique, and the card is just so beautiful. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a close-up here so you can see the shimmer on the inside of this rose. It's beautiful. We'll get started with our Big Shot cuts first. I have the Sizzix Big Shot die cut machine. Multi-purpose cutting platform that comes with it closed on tab 2. This here is the precision base plate. Just gonna spin it over, it goes this way. We'll be using the super gorgeous Rose Garden dies. These are in the Occasions catalog. And all of the supplies that I'll be using today on this card and in any of my videos are available in my online store. And you can get the measurements on this card, a list of these supplies, and direct links to the products in my online store simply by going to this URL or clicking in the link in the YouTube description below. I will also have a downloadable PDF file there for you to keep too. These are the two dies we'll be using. The rose comes from this die and the leaves come from just this section of this die. We'll actually need 3 of these roses, one for each of the colors we'll be using on it. I've got Wisteria Wonder, Perfect Plum, and the outline is Basic Black. So 1 rose from each of those colors. Starting with the Wisteria Wonder. And instead of lining the rose up in the center of this plate, I'm actually putting it a little bit towards the edge. Kind of like your mattress when you sleep on it and it gets that little body mark in the middle. Kind of the same thing with your Big Shot. The edges, I'm told, just make it a little bit tighter. I'm putting a cutting pad on top and running this through the Big Shot. Okay, tip number 1, I'm not separating this yet. I'm popping it out and keeping it all together if possible. It will make the next step a lot easier. So repeat this with the other 2 colors. All right, step 1 is complete. Now I'm going to take this outline where one of these roses popped out. It does not matter which one or which color. We're going to use that as a template. I'm going to trace it onto some very vanilla cardstock. The reason why I chose very vanilla is because this is what our rose is going to be layered onto. So if there's any imperfections, they're not going to show. Just use a pen, pencil, your favorite writing instrument, and roughly trace this line. It does not have to be perfect. And then take your scissors or snips and cut out the line. I did go slightly on the inside of the trace line to make it just a hair smaller. You're going to be layering on top of this template. You're not really going to see it, so it doesn't matter how beautiful you cut this piece out. It's not going to show at all. So if you cut like a kindergartner, boom, boom, it's all good. To be honest with you, I worked in my son's kindergarten class when he was younger, and some of those kindergartners can cut pretty good. So can you cut better than a kindergartner? It really doesn't matter for this project. Next, we're going to cut out our leaves. I'm just going to show you on the card here. It's just these 2 leaves that show. So they're the most important. If you don't cut all 3, that's fine. Also, there are 3 colors here, Pear Pizzazz, Old Olive, and Basic Black, so you'll want to cut all 3. Doing the exact same steps as we did for the rose, just doing the leaves of this particular die. And just like we did for the rose, I'm going to try to gently peel that out so that the pieces don't pop out yet. It just makes the next step easier. And once we have our 3 leaf sets cut out, we're going to make a template for that too. Just like we did with the rose, I'm using some scrap vanilla. I'm going to trace one of these outlines that the leaf popped out of onto some very vanilla, and we'll cut that out. Again, slightly inside the lines. So now we have our 3 leaves and our template, and our 3 roses and our template. For the next step, I'm going to take the sections that are going to become the inside of our stained glass image, and we are going to paint them with some of my favorite Wink of Stella. This is a shimmer brush. We'll just shake that up. I've got the clear Wink of Stella today, and then we literally just, let me just zoom in here so you can see this for real. We're going to paint this whole thing. This little guy doesn't want to stay in there, so we'll just paint him separately. It's okay if they come out, it just makes it easier if they stay together. And we are going to repeat that step on all of these. Okay, I'm going to start with the rose. So the black is our outline. So I should be using the die brush right now. Since it's not handy, I'm just going to pop these guys out by hand. Now only do that to the outline. Don't do that to the other two because we're going to strategically take pieces out of that. Next, take your favorite adhesive, mine is snail. Slather it all over. And just get as much of this template as you can, sticky. And then we are going to just line up. And you see how there's tiny little pieces of vanilla that may be sticking out there? Not a problem, because since we're layering it on vanilla, not gonna see it. I am going to spin these roses so they're all lined up. Then we're just gonna piece back together. I am on this particular one doing Perfect Plum for the center pieces and Wisteria Wonder for the outside pieces, which is the exact opposite of what I did here. So on the one I'm doing now, I'm doing the opposite colors. And what's great about this is, for every project, you get 2 roses, because you can just do the reverse on the other one. I used the center pieces of the Perfect Plum, and now I'm going to switch over and piece in the Wisteria Wonder for the rest. Ta-da! It's so cool. I love it. I love it. I just think this is so beautiful. And then with just one more black outline, you've got a whole nother flower, so you can actually make 2 cards. Now we're going to repeat the same exact steps for the leaves. I only popped out these 2 sections because they're the only ones we're going to see. And then I put snail all over the back of our template. And then we're just going to line that up. And with these, I went every other. You can I am very heavy on the Wink of Stella here, which is going to look awesome in the end. But just so you can see, there's like a row of 2 of each. So I alternated colors. Top rolled olive, then pear pizzazz, then old olive again when I pieced them back together here. And you can certainly get creative with this and go outside the box and do all kinds of other designs and colors. Here are our 2 finished pieces getting ready to assemble our card. Aren't they gorgeous? All right, let's put it together. I wanted this to be an Easter card, so I took the Sweet Sayings, which is filled with some great sayings. This is in the Occasions catalog, and went with the Wishing You All the Beautiful Blessings of Easter. It's such a beautiful script. Fits perfectly. Stamping that in some basic black ink on the right-hand side center. And we can assemble those layers onto our card. Again, these colors and dimensions are on my stampwithtami.com blog. And I attached the leaves first. I can't find my snail. It was around here a minute ago. There it is. Okay. Found it. So what I did was I just kind of lined them up with the words and attached them with some snail adhesive. Took some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of the flower and lined that up over the leaves. And that's it. The card is complete. Very fun, very gorgeous. And here's my original, which was the exact opposite color, so pretty cool. So here's our completed card, and I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial. Be sure to visit my stampwithtami.com blog for the free PDF. You can purchase all of these supplies there and get the card measurements and so much more. Thanks for joining me today.